Ooh. Okay, hi everyone, here is my little tips about buying a tripod. Some people, well, one of the phrases is, what's the biggest mistake people always do when buying a tripod, or their first tripod? And that is they usually buy a really cheap and crap tripod, a little plasticky thing which is pretty rubbish. And some people say that's a mistake. I don't think it is, because some people might buy it for maybe £20–30 and then not be into photography, and then they haven't really lost that much money. Because if you really want to get a tripod, you want to get a good one, and you're going to be spending around about 120 for the tripod, and then this bit's extra. This is the head. That maybe an extra £50 to £100 itself as well. And there's different things to look for in the tripods. I don't really care which brand it is or whatever, just certain things to know about which are interesting. You have different types of legs. So first thing is height, you might want to look for. This one extends out. So, well, first of all, how small can it get, and can you fit it into your rucksack or onto your back? So for height-wise, this one is actually nice and small. Okay, so that's the size of the tripod. It's not too heavy. It's maybe about 1.5 kilograms with the head, I think. Just if you're wondering, this is a Manfrotto 190X Probe. Probe, maybe? I don't know. And the head is 804RC2. I'll try and put some links on the blog to this or even better ones I can get. I think this is kind of an old model now, but it's awesome. Bought this, and if you buy a good tripod, you'll never buy another tripod again, as long as you don't lose it or run over the car with it. In fact, you could run over that tripod with the car and it wouldn't be damaged, because if you get a good one, then it's not going to break. You get so. So anyway, things to think about is the height. So with this one, you're not going to have the nice hydraulic movements like you do get in a light stand. So this opens up like that, and it's down there. So that's a bit annoying, because you're always going to have to be bending over. But fortunately this goes up a little bit higher, so for me, I'm 6 foot. That is perfect eye level with the camera. So camera on top, ta-da, not having to bend over. So that's something to think about. So how high it goes, that is what, 5'8" maybe, I think, fully extended out. But the other thing is how low you can get it as well. So for example, this one, the legs, you can open them up really wide. So now, okay, it looks like a bloody satellite, but it means it can get that close to the ground, so it's only that high off the ground, which is quite good if you're doing certain types of maybe beach shots where you want it to be nice and low. And the legs stay nice and sturdy. They will go in the way, but that's never really a problem with it. If you're getting a tripod, you've got to think about what kind of stuff you're doing. If you're going to be hiking up hills all the time, you don't really want a heavy one. This one is only about 1 and a bit kilograms, so it's not that heavy. I can take it on my rucksack and take up hills, and there's no problem. If you are going down to beaches all the time where it might be windy, or it's going to be in really rough locations, you might want one which is really, really heavy. And you can get ones which weigh an absolute ton, and you pretty much need a car to pull it. Majority of people, you won't need to worry about that. You won't even get anything near as much as that. But the heavier they are, the more expensive they are. There are some ones which come with a little hook at the bottom where you can attach your rucksack or a bag, which just gives it more weight, so it just doesn't move in any wind. Obviously, it's not going to move with any wind normally, but if you are in a blustering gale or something, the heavier the tripod, usually the better that it is. Now this one, I've actually used this for a couple of stock images when I've been like doing photos of food or jewellery. And there's a little button I can press at the bottom, and all of a sudden this then comes out like that. And although it's a small thing, it just means I can get my camera into locations which, if I want totally steady shots, I can't get it if it's just plonked on top of the tripod. So that's a really handy thing to have, I think. So you can turn it round like that, it's like that, or it's just press the button and it goes up. So that's just something else which I think is quite handy to have. Now, going on to the head, there's ones like this or you can get ones which have smaller knobs, and they'd all have small knobs like that one, and I have no idea why anyone would buy that. Get the ones with big handles, so wherever you are, if you have gloves on or anything, you can hold on to these. These actually also come in quite handy because sometimes I just stick it into the strap of my rucksack and just carry it along like that. One thing you want to look for is, if you're doing any kind of film work, you want a head which is quite fluid, known as a fluid head. This one, if I try and turn it, so I loosen that bit and it turns that way. If I loosen that bit, it goes up and down like that. And loosen that bit, it goes up and down like that. But it's a wee bit sticky, so it's not smooth in any way. Same with if I'm doing it rotating, it's not really that smooth. You want something, a fluid head if you're doing filming, you want slow panning kind of stuff. So that's something to take into account. If you're doing panoramics, or if you're doing one of those like spheres, or where you do full 360-degree photo, you can get special panoramic heads as well. They cost a bit more. They would be maybe like, the head would be about 200, maybe 300 pounds, somewhere around about there. And it's a big thing, there's lots of little bits, and you've got to measure stuff and all that kind of crap. But generally, for 99% of photographers out there, something like this, where it's about 1.5 kilograms, gets up to this height, has nice big knobs, then that's absolutely fine. This one's also got a tiny little thing which tells you the number of degrees, so like 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45, 90, just so if you are doing any kind of panoramics or stitched photos, you can at least say, I did it every 5 degrees. So yeah, that's the only tips I've got about tripods. Just get one which is fairly decent, around about, you're looking between anywhere between 100 and 300 pounds when you also include the head as well, and you'll keep it forever, pretty much. If you get a really cheap one, if you try and get one which is maybe 90 pounds including the head, you'll probably want to replace it after a couple of years, or even quicker. So yeah, that is my advice on tripods. Hope that helps. Bye.